Please welcome an electrifying voice in today's world, I would say, in leadership and resilience, Jacob Brown. Jacob is a former NFL athlete, serial entrepreneur, and a best-selling author, Fail Forward Mentality. You got to check it out if you have not done that yet. And Jacob has delivered, or he delivers even today, the standing ovation keynote to the giants like Intel, in Meta, right? And oh my God, Dallas Cowboys. I'm sure like everybody will be excited about that. The GM, and I think the universities like Michigan, Wisconsin, and your insights have been appeared in Forbes, in Wall Street Journal, as well as in Good Morning America. It's, oh my God, I'm so thrilled to have him here. One more thing I want to talk about. He's a global co-founder of athlete brand Varlo. We need to talk about a little bit about that. And what I like about Jacob is he combines his hard-earned wisdom and infectious humor. Oh my God, I love it. And the practical framework for all the leaders for all today's leaders and the team to break free from perfectionism, to embrace that discomfort, as well as to transform your failures into unbreakable momentum. Today's conversation is not going to be motivational, guys. It is going to be something that you will unlock your mindset to turn your setbacks into strategies and adversities into your best advantage. Thank you so much, Jacob, for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that introduction. That means a lot to me. I've been on a lot of podcasts, and I really just appreciate you extending the offer to have me on, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you so much. And I do want to start with something personal. So walk us through a moment in your lifetime, the darkest moment where you felt everything is lost. I'm done. And nothing is being seen. I'm I'm into the rock bottom. But you did find that first spark to get you out of that, and then move forward.
Yeah. I would say one of the darkest moments of my life was probably when I was cut from the Oakland Raiders. I was a 22-year-old kid. Football was all I knew.
Yeah.
And I poured my heart and body and mind and soul into this game.
Right.
And I had a lot of friends and family that were looking up to me and hoping that everything would work out. I have an uncle that played in 2 Super Bowls. I had a younger brother that right behind me went to the NFL as well. And football was all I really knew at the time. And when the Raiders cut me, it was the first time that I had ever been cut from anything. I had always been a team captain. I had always been like the first kid picked on the playground, and when I wasn't...
You carry that pride with you.
I carry the pride. And this was the first time I had been cut. And I remember coming back home, and I was depressed for about a month. I laid in bed. I really didn't go anywhere, didn't look for a job. And I kind of just felt like my life was over. And, a wise old man told me, he says, your life isn't over.
Yeah.
This is just the next phase of your life. And that's when I, began my career. I was a creative director for 16 years. And I started off as a machine operator at a company called Orlicon, like 10 miles north of here.
Okay.
And I stayed there for 2 years while I built my portfolio and kind of launched into life, and I found that new spark.
Oh, awesome. Oh my God. And I do want to talk about your book, Fail Forward Mentality. And what it tells me is what you have shared in that is failure isn't an opposite of success.
Right.
It's the foundation.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that for us.
Failing forward and failure is, I created an acronym for the word fail.
Okay.
A lot of people don't like the word fail. They want it to be learning moments instead. But at the end of the day, a failure is a failure, right? If you get an F on your test in school,
it's fail.
Yeah, it's a fail, right? But what do you learn in those moments?
Right.
What do you learn in those moments? And how do you take that learning and that knowledge into the next phase of your life? And it's only when you take it into the next phase of your life. If you think about a baby, when a baby starts crawling and they try to walk, what are the first things that they do?
They fall.
Keep falling.
They fall,
right?
Yeah.
But it's we don't tell them, oh, just quit, just stop. You're never going to do it. No, you want them to continue to fall, because in their falling, they learn how to stand.
Right.
They learn how to walk.
Oh my
they
God.
learn how to succeed.
Yes.
Right? And I think the same is true with us. We don't truly view failure as something that is a stepping stone towards success. Right? If you speak to any successful entrepreneur, they will tell you their failed businesses are the reasons why they're successful now.
I really like the analogy that you gave, because it's so simple and so basic.
Yeah.
You keep falling before you learn how to stand yourself up and balance yourself up.
Yes.
And that is something that's so natural, but we still fail at.
Yes. Yeah.
don't fail to understand.
If you think about a baby, as a baby is trying to stand up and walk.
Yeah.
And the more that they fall and the more they have to get themselves back up, they're actually strengthening their legs to be able to walk when they can.
Good point.
So in your failures, you're actually strengthening your mind, your thick skin, your tough skin.
Right.
You're strengthening your wisdom in order to walk and eventually run.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And the perfectionism is another one that you talk about, which I really liked about, because I think we all have that problem being a leader in a company, right? Oh, I got to be perfect. Oh, I got to do this rightly this way. So what is that one lie that we keep telling ourselves about a perfectionism or being perfect that keep us behind?
Yeah. Most people won't even begin down a track or a tread until it's perfect. Perfectly laid out, perfect strategy, and they have a perfect plan.
I'm one of that example. 7 years.
Yes.
A lot of people will not just jump in and learn along the way.
Right.
They want things to be perfect. And even as they go along, if it's not perfect, they won't even share it with the world. I guarantee there are a lot of products, there are a lot of ideas that are started, that are built, there are prototypes that have never seen the world because the inventor believes it's not perfect.
Oh my God. You said it so well. Guys, listen to this. Listen to what Jacob is saying. If you have invented anything, if you have shared any simple things that you really want to get it out in the world, don't judge. Don't put it in your mind, like judge it, and with your words, what's happening in your mind, get it out there into the public.
Yes.
Thank you, Jacob. So that's, I do have a lot of things here.
Okay.
And I'm going to be going in and out. NFL athletes, let's talk about it, because I know it is so close to your heart too. And that's how your journey began. Often struggle with identity after the game ends. Even if they're part of the NFL today, you're in the game, you're doing everything, your energy is high, but you're done. They don't have an idea. After they retire, I don't know. I'm like, how do they find their life? How do they get that energy back up?
Yeah.
What would you share for those?
Yeah. So in most of my keynotes, I share a story about not tying your identity to whatever your title is. I firmly believe that most people, police officers, nurses, doctors, chief marketing officers, CEOs, once they lose their title, they also feel like they've lost themselves.
Exactly.
Because they've tied everything that they are to that title, their value, their worth.
Right.
And if they don't have that, they don't feel like they have anything to contribute to the world.
Right.
I firmly believe that all of us have gifts, talents, and abilities outside of whatever our title might be. And that's who we really are at our core, right? We are, I consider myself Jacob Brown, the human being, right? If you follow me on LinkedIn, I don't have a title after my name. It's human
who you
being,
are. Yes.
right? Now, I do a lot of things, but that's not all I am. Because when I lost my title as a football player, when I was in the NFL and I was wearing an NFL helmet, running around catching passes, running routes, and then it was gone, I felt like I was worthless.
Right.
But that's just not simply, it's simply not true.
Exactly.
Right?
That's not true.
But in the moment, if everything you have is tied to that, that's how it's going to make you feel. So I would encourage everyone to seek outside of the title of who you truly are at your core, because we all have multiple gifts and talents.
Right.
We all have multiple things that we can give back to the world and individuals and serve in different ways. It's not just your title.
That's so true. I want to say something about that. You know, my dad retired, and we were worried about his mental health at the time because all he knew is work.
Yep.
And he was a workaholic, right? I mean, he gave his 200%, I would say, to the work and less into the family. My mom is the one, who really invested a lot of energy and time within the family.
Absolutely.
Not that my dad didn't, but he was so focused on the work and earning and everything. And once he retired, we were so scared that you're not going to get up in the morning tomorrow, go to the office at the same time, stay there, make decisions, whatever it is, nothing is there in front of you to look forward for.
Right.
So what we did, actually, he was pretty smart, and he helped us get comfortable with his retirement is go around the world and travel. And that kind of helped him ease into the transition.
Yes.
But to your point, everybody has a gift. They have to unlock that potential.
Absolutely.
I really like that. Let's talk about your avocado leadership. So how did you even come up with the avocado leadership model? How did you even come up with it?
Yeah.
What does the framework really is, and how is it helping leaders today?
Yeah.
So years ago, there was a company that hired me to come speak at their leadership training.
Okay.
And they wanted me to do a workshop around their core values. So I was thinking about, okay, what can I do to make this fun? What can I do to make it sticky and memorable? And the core of an avocado is the seed, right?
Okay, yeah.
And the skin of an avocado, as it ripens, it gets darker, it starts to get a little softer, right? And the flesh of the avocado, as it ripens, the same exact thing, and it's nurturing more when it is more ripe. So I thought about the nature of a good ripe avocado is the same as a good leader.
Oh my goodness. I could have never imagined this way, never connected one-to-one this way.
Yeah. So the avocado has skin that protects the flesh and protects the seed. And as that avocado ripens, it gets a little softer. You probably try to cut into an avocado too soon. It's really hard, right?
It's very hard.
But when it is ripened and when it's ready, it's easy to cut in. The flesh that's in the inside that we eat is very soft.
Right.
Leader should not have hard. It shouldn't be hard. The shell shouldn't be hard. A leader should be soft, approachable. A leader should be able to, just like an avocado, be put in any environment and still thrive. So if you put a leader in a position way too soon, right? If you put somebody just because they're good at their job into a position way too soon, they're probably going to be hard. They're going to have a hard shell. They're not going to lead with empathy. And they're not going to really grow and build other leaders. They're going to be living on survival mode in their own, right? But if you have a leader that is nice and ripe, that's been through the storms, that's been weathered, they are going to understand their employees and they will lead with empathy. They're going to have a soft middle, right? It's going to be nourishing to their team. And the seed that's inside the avocado, once it's planted, grows more.
Be growing more leaders and not just followers.
I love it.
So the best leaders mimic a good ripe avocado. So, and there's a framework for the avocado leadership. There are the 3 layers: the skin, the flesh, and the core. And then there are 7 attributes of a great leader, and they're broken down by each letter of the word avocado as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jacob was on our T200. There's another leadership women's group called T200. And you talked about the avocado leadership. And you really gave the framework of it. And I would say today's leader, if you really want to understand how you can better yourself and thrive and be ready to take on more, to do more, Jacob is the answer.
Thank you.
So you came, you delivered keynote for Intel, Meta.
Mm-hmm.
So help us understand, like, how did you engage with the audience? Because to me, it's like, even if I want to go on a stage for 2 minutes, I'll become conscious about who I am and what I'm
Yeah.
standing, how do I look. But then forget about you and look at the audience and grab their attention, engagement.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah. So I've been blessed enough to have really good mentors, and I follow a lot of great speakers, coaches,
Yeah.
communicators. And one of my favorite speakers and coaches is John Maxwell. So John Maxwell wrote the book Failing Forward in 2000.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
I didn't hear about Failing Forward
Yeah,
until 2006.
Okay.
And it was from my aunt. But I later learned about John Maxwell because I
Right.
started using Failing Forward.
Mhm.
And people are like, did you know about John Maxwell? But
Yeah.
John Maxwell shared something on one of his podcasts. He said the greatest communicators,
Mhm.
when they step on stage, when they're in front of an audience, even when they're doing one-on-one, they are
Mhm.
not worried about what they look like.
Exactly.
They're not worried about what they sound like.
Right.
They are only worried about giving and pushing the information that they're trying to share and they're trying to communicate to whom they're trying to communicate. He says, because if you're trying to communicate an idea that way, but you're also trying to focus on yourself this way, it's going to cancel each other out. It's got to go one way or another, right?
So, but can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Because this is my real life question
Yeah.
that I have. People talk about it takes no more than 2 seconds looking at you and people judging you
Mm-hmm.
based on your appearance.
Yes.
And when you're on a stage, you have to be well dressed. You got to look certain way, dress certain way. All of these things keeps coming up in my, in one of these discussions, or like, how to be and everything. And we get conscious about it.
Yeah.
Is it truly really matters?
One of the greatest speakers that I've ever seen live, his name is Nick Vujicic. Do you know who he is?
No, I don't, but
Nick,
I'll look for
yes.
I'll look at him later.
So Nick Vujicic was born with no arms and no legs. So from the shoulder off, both sides, and from the hips down, he has no legs and no arms. Yet when he graces the stage and speaks, he is one of the most compelling, one of the most attention-grabbing people I've ever seen, yet he has no arms and no legs. Wow. And it's less about what he looks like and more about the energy that he's exuding in the words that are coming out of his mouth. Because number one, you believe him.
Yes.
Number two, you know what he's sharing is coming from the heart.
Right.
And number three, he's giving you everything he's got in his little body.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And if you've never had the opportunity to listen or watch Nick, I challenge you, go to YouTube and watch a Nick Vujicic full keynote.
I will do that today.
He's absolutely phenomenal. And it will allow you and give you the opportunity to overcome whatever ideas you had about what you look like on stage.
Right.
Or even what you might sound like. Because here's a man that has no arms and no legs, yet he's waddling across the stage.
Right.
And he's expressive with his body and with his mouth and with his face. And you forget that he has no arms and no legs.
Right.
Because he's one of the greatest speakers on the planet.
I will go do that. And that's not, and I do believe that energy.
Yes.
I believe energy is everything.
Yes.
And even you enter a room, your energy speaks louder than even before you open your mouth.
Way before you do.
and that connection is more powerful.
Yes.
And but you really confirm me again in a different way. Thank you. So you have built a global brand while raising 4 kids in Metro Detroit.
Yes.
So how do you balance? We'll talk about. Why don't we talk the first one about your global athlete brand that you have built, Warlow?
Yeah.
Let's talk about what that is.
So Varlo, one of my business partners, Saj Jabal, he came to me back in 2020. It was January 2020 with an idea.
Yeah.
And he shared this idea about Varlo and creating a brand for cycling and triathlon. The market in cycling triathlon is fairly boring. They really don't tell the story about the athlete
Yeah.
like a Nike does, or even Adidas or
Right.
a Reebok,
Right.
and now New Balance. So
Yeah.
we wanted to be that brand that had some flair to it, but also told a different side of the sport of triathlon. Well, it began in triathlon, but then it moved to cycling and triathlon to athleisure apparel now as well. We've been around for almost 6 years now,
Yeah.
and we're growing very fast. And
That's good.
and at this point, Varlo is seen and known as not just a cycling and triathlon brand, but a brand that anyone can wear anywhere.
Wow.
Which is what we wanted
Exactly.
to empower people to go after their goals and their dreams of tomorrow.
It's the story that you tell.
Yes,
that
it's always a
connects to
story
that.
you tell.
And let's talk about, like, you have multiple initiatives
Yes,
and you have 4 kids.
yes,
How do you balance?
yes.
Do you even give time to your wife and your
Yes.
kids and yourself
Yes.
and to the initiatives?
So the balance part is the toughest part.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've done is I've given myself grace when I heard this.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people say they want to have work-life balance.
Right.
There are going to be times where work is going to outweigh
That's true.
life.
Yeah.
And there are going to be times where life has to outweigh work.
Mhm.
So it's more so, think of it as work-life rhythm.
Oh,
right? A
new
work-life
word.
rhythm.
Yeah, I
right?
agree.
So if you think about music, there's a rhythm.
There's a
right?
rhythm. Yeah.
It might be loud in some points, it might be low in some points, but
Yeah.
that rhythm keeps everything in sync.
Right.
So when I'm working, I'm working.
Yeah.
And if I can bring play into that, and
Mhm.
if I can bring my family, there have been times where I've taken my family to work trips that have turned into play.
That's
right?
nice.
And the same is true with them.
Yeah.
So we set time aside. We're actually going to be going on a family trip the week after Christmas, and I can't wait.
Love it.
My son from college is home, and we have all 4 kids together, and
That's awesome.
it's exciting,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And during that time, there's no work.
Yeah. Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
But during work time, there really is not much play, and
Yeah.
I think that goes for all of us. We try to have that work-life rhythm,
Right.
and support one another when we're working hard, but then also play when it's time to play.
I agree. So this is something that I really want everybody to take away from, and me too, is like work-life rhythm.
Yes.
That's going to be my new way
Yes.
of sharing that. That is a really good one. So leaders today, I'm going to take my example too.
Mm-hmm.
We are burnout. And there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of ambiguity, or like there's not a clarity around, like, where you're at, what you're doing, where am I going to get into. What would you say to us? Like, how do we handle that uncertainty and still keep that positivity and keep moving?
Yeah. One of the things I would say is control what you can control. And
Basic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Control what you can control and
Right.
focus on that. Because whatever you focus on grows.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I would say during this day and age of AI, we're at the beginning of AI.
Right.
Which is the same if you think about in like the early 2000s, where it was the beginning of the internet and the web.
Right.
And Google, right?
Right.
And most people had no idea what that really meant.
Right.
But there were some pioneers and pioneer thinkers that were like, I'm going to take this and I'm going to craft something out of it. I'm going to make something out of this, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm going to craft my own path.
Right.
I think right now is a time where you can control what you control.
Mm-hmm.
You build your brand around what you know.
Right.
And run with it as fast and as far as you possibly can. Because like you said, no one really knows where this is going to go. But it's those people that take control and move.
Keep moving.
Keep moving, right?
Okay.
And I would say also moving away in an area that you know, right?
Yes.
Move in an area that you know. Don't try to learn everything because you're not going to be able to.
I agree.
Right? Use AI
agree.
for what you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So well said. And two powerful things, like each of the answers you're providing, there's some really golden nuggets in my view. You said what you focus on grows. Remember, what you focus on grows. So focus on the right thing and keep moving.
Keep moving.
Okay. and I will stop using this, but I want to use my own question. Somebody watching today, and whatever they're facing today, they're like, okay, lost a job or relationship issues, or like, something happened completely, or they're lost fully.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even have somebody around them to say that, hey, wake up, kid, or wake up. What would you share that? I mean, how would they, let's say that they don't have friends, family, whatever, like, for them, how would they still pick back up and keep moving? What would you say what they can do and take on today?
I would say two things. The first thing that I would say is I was in your place not too long ago. About 13, almost 14 years ago, 2012, I got divorced. I was drained emotionally, physically, financially. I lived homeless for about 3 months. This is where my addiction of alcoholism actually sparked. And I blamed everybody on the planet for my condition and where I was. When in reality, and I wish that I had learned this sooner. I didn't learn this until years later, but I wish I learned this sooner. When I stopped blaming everyone from where I was, and I took extreme accountability and said, I am where I am because of the decisions that I made. That's the only time that you can actually start to move and march forward. Because the more that you blame other people for where you are, that toxic boss, that ex-wife or ex-husband, that terrible friend, the principal you had at school, or the professor that gave you a bad grade in college, the more that you blame them, the more you're giving them power over your life. In the moment that you take the power back and you say, I am where I am because of my decisions, therefore I can decide a different path of life. That's when you start to change your life. And when I began to take extreme accountability and stop blaming other people for where I was, that's when I got sober. Yeah. That's when I started to build businesses. That's when I was able to build real meaningful relationships. And that's when I started to hit stages that I never thought I could speak on. Yeah. But also remember this, the struggle that you're going through right now will one day become your testimony. And you'll be able to help someone else that's going to be going through it as well, because you went through it too.
Oh my God. I really feel like crying right now. I do want to share a little bit of my experience, my little experience with you. I watched Jacob's keynote speech, and I was searching for my next podcast guest, and I was watching this, and I saw you, and you were so dynamic, and so I immediately connected to you, right? But I was least expecting a legend like you would even respond to my message, right? And I was trying to find you. Where can I find you, and how can I message you? And I did find you, and I did message. And the thing that I love about Jacob is, like, within 1 hour, you did respond back to me, and you gave me the number to contact. I'm like, I think there was some energy exchange that was happening in the message. And what I learned is, doesn't matter how you grow big and who you are from a financial perspective, from a brand perspective, you're a legend, but you still give that time. You're a human, you understand, and give that opportunity for newbies like me.
Yes.
That is a wealth for us. That
Yes.
is a magical moment for me. And I would have least expected, but then I was like so thankful for the universe, and so thankful and grateful for you to give me that opportunity, not only to know you, but also you're here with me on KTU. Also, you're going to be my coach. Yes. I'm getting coached from the best guys. So lastly, what are the 3 things that you would say as a takeaway for the audience? And I think your story already is so powerful that you shared so many things, like, believe in you. The power is within you. You know how to get yourself back up and keep moving.
Yeah.
But I think at the last few things like, what's the key takeaway that you really want audience who are going to be watching this take it from and run with it?
Yeah. I would say three things. One of my favorite quotes is speak what you seek until you see what you've said. This is by Chris Gardner. If you don't know who Chris Gardner is, he's who the movie The Pursuit of Happiness was about. Chris Gardner is a real person. The movie was based on a true story about his life. And if you watched him in the movie, he manifested all the things he wanted in his life. But he began manifesting them by speaking the things that he seeked. He was telling his friends and family, he told his wife the things that he was going to do, and no one believed him. But every word that came out of his mouth, he achieved.
Wow.
Because I firmly believe that our words have power. What we say to ourselves, we'll take action on. Absolutely. And whatever we take action on, we expect to happen. And whatever we expect to happen ultimately happens because we are speaking or taking action on it. Yes. Okay? So that's how you manifest what you want. I would say number two, if you are in that moment where you've been laid off, where you feel like you're in the pit, where you're down in the dumps and things are not going right for you right now, I want you to remember something. This is just a season in your life. It's just a season. And it's a moment of reflection that you're going to use one day to help someone else.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you can reframe this failure as a stepping stone towards success, you will be much better off. Way much better off.
Completely agree.
Yes.
100% agree with that.
The last thing I want to share is for 2026. We're getting ready to go into 2026.
Oh, yeah.
And most people are always set resolutions. Okay? For this year's resolution, I challenge you, instead of just writing down or setting your goals, I want you to manifest your goals by doing this. I want you to write yourself a 6-month letter. So what do I mean by that? So today is December 19th. December 19th. I want you to January, February, March, April, May, June. June 19th. If you wrote your 6-month letter right now, on June 19th, 2026, what would you like to read about your life on that day? How would you like your life to be that day? And write it down. And write it down in a way that you read that letter to yourself on that day. Wow. Hey, Jake, for the last 6 months, you've lost another 15 pounds. You've been working out for 4 or 5 times a week. You and your wife have gone back to the vacation that you went on your honeymoon, back to St. Thomas, St. John. You went in January or February. Your son has gotten multiple offers for college. Your other son just finished with a 4.0 his freshman year in college. Your baby girl is in competition ballet, and she's going to be probably going to New York to go do this challenge. Wow. And your baby boy just had his best season in baseball. If I read that letter in June, would you say that's a good life?
It's a great life.
It's a great life. Nothing I just said is unbelievable or unachievable. It is achievable and reachable. So if I were to write myself a 6-month letter to open up on June 19th, 2026, it would say something similar to that. And if I read that letter on June 19th, 2026, I'd be a happy man.
Oh my God, so true. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go write a letter right now for sure before I get to the bed today. But just putting those thoughts, pen it down.
Yes.
Will that really trigger that action and the movement in people's life?
Yes.
Do you think? Okay.
So what you do is you write this letter and you put it in an envelope and you store it somewhere safe that you'll remember it, but you do not look at this letter until the date you set.
Okay.
Don't look at that letter.
Okay.
What this does is psychologically, you will start to march towards what's in that letter because you don't want to read that letter 6 months down the line and you haven't even started on some of those goals.
I agree.
You haven't achieved any of those goals or at least began them.
Right.
I've done this multiple times with organizations for the last 4 years. And every time I revisit with that organization, the letters people wrote, their lives are 2 to 3 times better than what they wrote them.
Guys, didn't you get the golden gem today? Oh my goodness. This was so powerful, so awesome. I did tell you guys, you're going to unlock your mindset.
Yes.
Just, to move away from your setbacks into strategy.
Yes.
And that's exactly what Jake
Yeah.
just gave you guys. I'm going to call Jake. Just gave you guys. But this was so powerful.
Thank you.
And it's a golden moment for me. And
I
thank you for
appreciate it.
making it happen. And
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you being here with me.
More than honored to be on. Thank you.
Thank you.